Welcome to Law Reader Channel, Episode 1.17. Chapter 2. Responsible Institutions. I will read from Article 210 to 221. Article 210. Responsible Institutions. In collaboration with competent ministries or institutions and subnational administration, the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall lead and strengthen the effectiveness of managing urban solid, plastic and industrial solid waste. Article 211. Roles and duties of the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources. The ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall have the following roles and duties. A. Develop draft policies, national strategic plans, legal instruments, action plans, and technical guidelines concerning solid waste management and coordinate the implementation between competent ministries or institutions and subnational administration. B. Research on technology related to processing, resource exploitation, treatment, and final handling of solid water in an environmentally safe manner. C. Provide support and enhance solid waste processing and exploitation. D. Provide technical guidelines and capacity development to subnational administration to ensure the effectiveness of solid waste management functions. E. Collaborate with relevant ministries or institutions, subnational administration, and development partners to mobilize financial and technical resources, means, and equipment to support and improve end-to-end solid waste management. F. Take the lead, coordinate, and enhance the promotion of formal education and public awareness about solid waste management to encourage attitude change in solid waste management and participate, use, and pay solid water service fees. G. Review and provide technical comments on site selection to build a landfill and landfill preparation and on environmental protection measures during the operation and closing of the solid waste landfill. H. Collaborate with competent ministries or institutions and subnational administration to monitor and evaluate the implementation of solid waste management functions. Chapter 3. Urban Solid Waste Management. Article 212. Establishment of an Urban Solid Waste Management Committee. 1. An Urban Solid Waste Management Committee shall be established as a national mechanism to lead the policies and strategies and provide budget and technical support for urban solid waste management. 2. Roles and duties of the Urban Solid Waste Committee shall be determined by a subdecree. Article 213. Urban Solid Waste Data Management. The ministry responsible for environment and natural resources shall develop an urban solid waste database and shall determine rules, resource needs, or necessary means to enhance capacity and effectiveness for urban solid waste cleaning, collection, transportation, and landfill services to cover nationwide and to ensure environmentally safe sustainability. Article 214. Action plans for reducing urban solid waste generation. The ministry responsible for environment and natural resources, in collaboration with competent ministries or institutions and all relevant stakeholders, shall determine the strategies and action plans to reduce urban solid waste generation by sorting waste at source points, transportation by types of waste, and promoting processing activities, exploitation, and waste treatment. Article 215. Subnational Administration. The subnational administration shall be responsible for implementing policies and legal instruments concerning urban solid waste management in the territorial jurisdiction and shall have the following duties. H. Develop necessary legal instruments to promote the implementation of policy, legal, national strategy, and legal instrument measures concerning urban solid waste management. B. Develop an action plan and budget plan for the management, cleaning, collection, transportation, and stopping of urban waste solid waste littering. C. Enhance the sorting of waste and activity to reduce urban solid waste generation, reuse, waste processing, and urban solid waste exploitation. D. Establish, manage, and handle urban solid waste cleaning, collection, transportation, and landfill services. E. Educate and raise awareness to the public on hygiene, urban waste handling, participation, use, and pay for urban solid waste transportation, collection, and landfill services. F. Control, monitor, and evaluate the effectiveness of solid waste management services. G. Implement education and legal measures against littering offenses, avoid the use and failure to pay urban solid waste service fees. H. Prepare yearly reports on data, situation, and urban solid waste management processes to submit to competent ministries or institutions. Part 1. Liability of urban solid waste generators. Article 216. Obligation of urban solid waste owners. Persons generating urban solid waste shall adhere to the principles determined by Subnational Administration on Urban Solid Waste Management, including but not limited to sorting, packaging, disposing, cleaning, service using, and service payment for urban solid waste management. Article 217. Rules on consumers of products or materials. 1. The use of products or equipment that may cause environmental risks, public health, and hard-to-be-processed waste will be subject to a user fee in accordance with provisions of this code. 2. Types of products or equipment subject to user fees shall be determined in an interministerial process by the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources and the ministries or institutions accountable for economy and finance. 72. Article 218. Prohibition relating to disposal and burning of urban solid waste. 1. The disposal of urban solid waste in the street, public spaces, open spaces, sewage system, water canal, public water sources, or private/possessed land that is not permitted to store garbage or final handling site temporarily is strictly prohibited. 2. The burning of urban solid waste in the street, public spaces, private/possessed land, open space, and waste incinerators without permission from the ministry responsible for environment and natural resources is strictly prohibited. Article 219. Liability for harm. Persons generating urban solid waste that causes environmental pollution, public health impact, or property damage due to their management activities shall be liable for the damage and restoration of environmental pollution in compliance with the provisions of this code. Part 2. Collection, transportation, and landfill services. For urban solid waste. Article 220. Development of collection, transportation, and landfill services for urban solid waste. 1. Subnational administration shall be responsible for developing and operating collection, transportation, and landfill services for urban solid waste in a quality, effective, and environmentally safe manner in their administrative jurisdiction. 2. Procedures and requirements for developing and managing urban solid waste collection, transportation, and landfill services shall comply with applicable legal instruments. Article 221. Obligations relating to collection, transportation, and landfill service. Providers for urban solid waste. Persons receiving the right to provide urban solid waste collection, transportation, and landfill services shall ensure the following. A. Implement requirements for urban solid waste cleaning, collection, transportation, and landfill services as the contract determines. Thank you for listening. See you soon in episode 1.18. Good luck and good week.